We got one more, y'all. And this one's special because this is an OG from our movement. Somebody that I know when I was still just coming up into Christian hip hop and trying to get my act together as just, older teenager. I happened to get one of his cassettes, and it was a group called P.I.D, Preachas in Disguise. This guy is a pioneer, so y'all show some love for Fred Lynch. Come on, baby.
Thank you, man. Love you. Love you. Everybody say, I can rebrand. Say it again, I can rebrand. I love it. So many things that were said that were so good, and I love the idea how you brought so many different names to who you are. Because the whole idea and the concept of rebranding is you rediscover that there's more to you than you thought there was to you. And so what happens in the process of rebranding is you discover a little bit about yourself and you put a little brand on it. And this is when you say, I am this is what you are. And then you continue to journey through life and you find out a little bit more about you, and then you realize, and I am that too. And you keep going and you're going because you are what you are at the moment. But from heaven's standpoint, God sees all that you are. Now, in this temporal realm, you go through processes of rebranding. So that means that when the master was sitting with Nick at night, he said to him, the only way you can understand what heaven on earth is like is if you allow yourself to be rebranded. Somebody say, I can rebrand. And it's not always easy. It's not always easy. The rebranding process is you get used to a name. You get used to an idea. You get used to what you are, and you embody that, and then all of a sudden heaven demands a rebranding, and you got to allow that old self to be stripped away and become a brand new. Somebody say, I can rebrand. So can I give you just a couple of my rebranding stories in my life? Maybe just two. Okay, one of them was this time I'll give you this one. Okay, about 5 months ago, I'm sitting in the Flavor Fest session in Houston, Texas. And Tommy brings this message about rebranding, and I'm sitting there broken. And when he asked us to get up and write something to God and write about who you are again, I wrote a message to God. And I said, okay, if this is who I am in your sight, then I can rebrand. Somebody say, I can rebrand. And I decided, and I said, okay, I'll accept that. And I decided the rebranding. And in the rebranding, you first get branded, and then you have to live out the branding. And this is the beauty. You grow into the brand. Somebody say, grow into the brand. That's your only problem. You need to grow into the brand. God called you. Look at what the scripture says. Beloved, how amazing it is that we should be called the sons of God. And then it says, and that is what we are. And we don't even fully know what we're like, but we know that when we see him, then we'll understand the brand and we'll be just what we see. Is anybody looking for Jesus? Because I just want to be what I see. I want to be what I see in him. Not what I see in me. I want to be what I see in him. Somebody say it again. I can rebrand. And so when you decide to rebrand, you begin to live into this brand and expand into the brand. And this is what's amazing about it. You expand into the brand, and then you break the frame of the brand, and it's time to... Somebody say, I can rebrand. I have a friend that had asked me a couple of months ago, probably about 3 months ago. He was like, I was telling him about some opportunities and things that's going on in my process of life and living. And he said, man, you ain't going through that deconstruction thing. Is you deconstructing? And this is I'm old now. I'm 56, And so this brother was a little bit younger than me, so I called him baby. You know, when you old and somebody say something stupid, baby, look. I said, since I've been saved, I've been deconstructing and reconstructing and deconstructing and reconstructing and deconstructing and reconstructing. It's a part of the process. So let me give you one of my quick, and I told him, and I immediately thought of this story, so I had to share it with you because it's one of my funniest stories. The week that I got saved, I said, baby, I've been deconstructing and reconstructing since the first week I got saved. See, the first week I got saved, I was excited. I was a kid on the street. I was about 13, just about turning 14 years old. I went back out into the block, my hood, and I told all my friends, man, I'm saved. I'm saved. And they all looked at me and said, no. And I'm just, for reference, y'all know, no. No. No, you ain't saved. No. You ain't saved. And I said, no, I'm saved. I'm saved. They said, no. You ain't saved. And there's always in the hood, there's one kid that's a little bit older, but he stay with all the younger kids because, he want to be the king of the pack. And so he the one that was leading it all. And he pulled me to the side. I'll never forget this because he pulled me to the side. And he said, no, you ain't saved. I said, I'm saved, man. And he pulled me aside. He said, let me ask you something. He said, you ever look at pornography? I said, no. Now, see, y'all don't get the joke because, like, back then, it was the 80s. We were ashamed or something like that. It's sad now that people ain't even ashamed of it. But I was like, no, I've never done nothing like that. I've never done nothing. I'm lying. And he knew that I would be lying. So as soon as I said, no, I've never looked at anything like that, he was like, I told you ain't saved. You ain't saved. I told you ain't saved. Now I end up going back to Jesus. It's like, Jesus, I ain't saved because I was just, and I lied right there in front of your face. And Jesus said, come on, baby. Because when you say something stupid, he said, I had to allow that level of lying that was in you to be revealed so you can understand that if you give me that habit and give me those lies, I will rebrand you. Somebody say, I can. Rebrand. I can. Rebrand. Tell yourself I can. Rebrand.